They say a man who feels nothing is strong. That real strength is to be unmoved, untouched, emotionless. But the truth is, that's not strength, that's emptiness. True strength isn't in feeling nothing, it's in feeling everything, yet never being controlled by it. Before we go deeper, pause for a moment. If you're watching this, it's not by accident. Something in you is searching for peace, for mastery, for that unshakable calm the Stoics spoke of. So before we begin, subscribe, not for me, but for yourself. Because every word you'll hear from now on is designed to help you rise above the noise, to reclaim your power, to master the storm within. Marcus Aurelius once sat in the heart of chaos, wars, betrayal, death all around him. And yet, he wrote with serenity. He reminded himself daily, you have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this, and you will find strength. He never said, don't feel. He said, don't be ruled by what you feel. That's where most people get it wrong. You see, when you try to suppress emotion, you don't destroy it. You bury it alive. And what's buried alive will always claw its way back, louder, darker, more violent. The Stoics didn't bury emotions. They faced them. They examined them. They dissected them until they understood their nature. Anger is not evil, it's a signal. Fear is not weakness, it's awareness. Sadness is not defeat, it's depth. Every emotion is a message, but the moment you let the message become the master, you lose yourself. Epictetus said it perfectly. It's not what happens to you, but how you react to it that matters. Every event, every insult, every pain is neutral until you label it. You are the one giving meaning. You are the one shaping the story. When you understand this, you stop blaming life for your suffering. You stop saying life is unfair and start saying life is training me. Every hardship becomes a teacher, every failure a lesson, every loss a purification. The Stoic doesn't ask for an easier path. He asks for a stronger mind, because he knows peace is not found in the absence of pain, but in the mastery of it. Imagine standing in a storm, the wind screaming, the rain crashing, the world spinning, and yet, inside, you are still, unmoved, a pillar in the chaos. That's what it means to live stoically. To the average man, emotions are chains. They make him chase approval, react in anger, drown in fear. He becomes a puppet pulled by invisible strings. But to the Stoic, emotions are tools. He uses them to carve himself into something unbreakable. Seneca once said, "No man is more unhappy than he who never faces adversity. For he is not permitted to prove himself. Those who seek comfort will never grow. Those who seek mastery must embrace discomfort." So the next time life provokes you, someone insults you, betrays you, rejects you, don't react. Don't let their fire burn your peace. Watch, feel, breathe. Ask yourself, is this worth my peace? 99 times out of 100, it's not. Because your peace is your fortress. Guard it. You see, the world doesn't reward those who feel everything. It rewards those who control what they feel. The warrior who panics dies. The leader who rages destroys. The thinker who fears never acts. But the Stoic, he feels deeply and moves wisely. Emotional control is not about killing emotion. It's about taming it. Like fire, if left unchecked, it consumes everything. But if mastered, it gives warmth, light, and life. That's why the Stoics train daily. They practiced reflection, writing, silence. Marcus wrote in his journal every night, not to impress anyone, but to face himself, to examine his anger, his fears, his pride, to sharpen his mind against his own weakness. He knew the enemy wasn't outside, it was within. Most men fight the world, never realizing the real battle is inside their own mind. Their emotions are the battlefield, their discipline, the weapon. Ask yourself, how many times have you destroyed your own peace for something temporary? A word, a look, a disappointment? How many nights have you lost sleep replaying something you couldn't change? That's not strength, that's slavery. The Stoic refuses to be a slave. He feels emotion arise, acknowledges it, and lets it pass, like clouds across the sky. He doesn't fight them, he doesn't feed them. He just watches until the sky clears again. That's mastery. When Seneca lost his fortune, he didn't curse the gods. When Epictetus was enslaved, he didn't drown in despair. When Marcus lost his children, he didn't abandon his duties. They didn't feel nothing, they felt everything. But they didn't let those feelings destroy their direction. They grieved, but they didn't collapse. They felt pain, but they didn't become victims. That's the difference between emotional weakness and emotional mastery. Because pain is inevitable, but suffering is a choice. You suffer not because life hurts you, but because you refuse to accept what is. You want control over everything, but control belongs only to your mind. The moment you try to control the uncontrollable, you begin to drown. So when you lose something, a job, a friend, a love, ask yourself, was it truly mine? Or was it just borrowed for a time? Everything is temporary. Everything you cling to will one day fade. The Stoic knows this, and that's why he is free. He doesn't depend on external things for internal peace. His peace comes from within, untouched, unshaken. He practices what the Stoics called apatheia, not apathy, but tranquility through understanding. A deep calm that comes from knowing that the world will move as it must, and he will remain steady regardless. When you reach that state, you become untouchable. People may insult you, and you'll feel nothing but compassion. They may betray you, and you'll simply wish them peace. Because their chaos no longer reaches you. You have built an inner citadel, a fortress of reason and strength, and inside it, no one can harm you. This doesn't mean you don't care. It means you care correctly. You care about your character more than your reputation, your virtue more than your comfort, your peace more than your pride. And that shift, that quiet shift, changes everything. You stop needing validation. You stop chasing attention. You stop overreacting to life. You start living deliberately, intentionally, with purpose. You become the man who walks through fire and does not burn. Remember, the goal is not to feel nothing. The goal is to remain unbroken, no matter what you feel. And that takes practice. Start small. The next time you're frustrated, pause before you speak. When you're disappointed, sit in silence before you react. When anger rises, breathe before you strike. That pause, that one breath, separates the weak from the wise. Over time, you'll notice something. People will begin to feel your calm. They'll sense your steadiness. They'll try to provoke you, but it won't work. They'll wonder why their words don't shake you, why their chaos doesn't touch you. That's when you'll know you've changed. You've mastered what most never even attempt, yourself. And from that moment, life can no longer defeat you, because no storm can drown a man who has learned to breathe underwater. So the next time the world tells you to be a man who feels nothing, remember, strength is not numbness. Strength is composure. Strength is awareness. Strength is knowing your emotions and still choosing your response. That's what makes you powerful. That's what makes you free. If this message resonated with you, don't keep it to yourself. Subscribe, and let this be your reminder, daily, to stay grounded, stay focused, and stay unshaken. Because the world needs more men who feel deeply, yet remain calm in the fire. And when you feel that storm rising again, just whisper the words Marcus once wrote to himself. Be like the rock that the waves keep crashing over. It stands unmoved, and the raging of the sea still falls around it. Be that rock, unmoved, unbroken, unshaken. Stay stoic.